Hello guys, this is Doronsmovies and you're watching the 21st episode of the Lore Q&A. So today I'll be answering some of the questions you guys left in the previous video. And if you'd like to get your questions answered, it's pretty much as it always was. Make sure to put them on the Q&A lore videos. And as I said, it's best if you put them on the newest ones, as those are the ones I usually pick, although on occasions I check the older ones as well. And also you can send your messages by YouTube personal messages, or Facebook and Twitter, as you have links in the description for that below. Also, before we start, I just wanted to give an announcement and say that I made a Twitch TV channel, and I will most likely start streaming once I reach 10,000 subscribers. Not like daily or anything like that, but you know, on certain occasions. And I will most likely stream World of Warcraft, Hearthstone or Warcraft 3, so pretty much games related to the content on the channel that's going on. So you can check out the links in the description of the video for the Twitch TV link, and I will also put the links in the about section of the channel and the link section as well. So if you're interested, you can follow me on there, as I plan on making the first stream. As I said, once I get 10,000 subscribers, I plan on making like a bigger stream on the channel. So yeah, that's pretty much when I will start streaming, and after that it will probably be on certain occasions that I will announce. Anyways, let's start the Q&A. Yukine asks, do you think Blizzard will do more Green Fire questlines for the other classes, explaining the nature of why they use a specific ability or why an ability changed from expansion to expansion? Alright, so I do believe that they will do that, as it was a really cool thing they added, and I think it kind of makes the game a bit more realistic, and it's not like, oh, you just got these cool abilities that you can use, just click on them and you will kill enemies, but this way they kind of present a story of the class a bit more and why they use certain abilities. So I think they will do something about that in Worlds of Draenor, and as I read, I believe the focus will be on the shamans and the paladins, and they say they will do some interesting stuff about those, and I think they mentioned something involving Drektar and why he got blind and all of that. And also I feel like shamans will have something as in like spiritual quests. I don't know how many of you guys read the Shattering, but in the Shattering, when Droll went to Outland, he had like he went through like a spiritual quest as a shaman in the Grand, and he was like reliving his old memories and dreams and whatnot, like nightmares. So it could be a cool thing they could add. I mean, they could do something about the shamans on there as well. And they also said that the paladins will have like a big quest line as well, because of the Draenei. So my guess is that in Worlds of Draenor, as I said, the class spotlight will most likely be on the shamans and the paladins, and we will see a lot of stuff related to that. Alright, next, J Super asks, where are we in the lore? It's a little confusing since Garrosh is still in Orgrimmar, which means that the siege is about to start. Also, since we had a cutscene of Garrosh's fall, which means Garrosh is in a prison, and also the trailer for Worlds of Draenor came out, which means we were at the vote stage in the lore, which heavily relies on the lore. Yeah, that actually annoys me as well, and it's purely just the game, and I mean it has nothing really to do with the story, it's just a game, and the reason for that is that they just don't want to update the game yet, until Worlds of Draenor comes out, and that isn't really a good thing, as I mean Siege of Orgrimmar came out in like what, September, like start of September or something like that, and I believe Worlds of Draenor will be released somewhere around December this year, maybe a bit earlier than that. And when you look at it, I mean it's almost a year difference, where it's just one patch, and they haven't really added that much in 5.4 anyways. I mean, when you look at it, they only added the Siege of Orgrimmar raid, they did some changes to Orgrimmar and those wolves running around and all of that, and they added a few minor things, you know, such as mounts, but it's not really too much. I mean, it's not really enough content to sustain people for a year. That's pretty much why people are getting bored of the game anyways. But I mean, in the story right now, the Horde is kind of rebuilding itself, and Vol'jin actually is the war chief. But I mean, yeah, we can't really see that due to the lack of new content, I guess, and as I said, it really annoys me pretty much every time I play World of Warcraft, because in Orgrimmar you got all these troops like preparing for battle, and in Razor Hill you got Bane and Vol'jin repeating the same conversation like for months now, almost a year, and I mean that was cool for like the first few months or something like that, but after a year it really gets old. And I mean, even War Crimes, the book, came out today, and we already saw the trailer for Warlords, as you said, and the beta is coming soon as well. So it's not really cool anymore. I mean, it sucks that they didn't decide to do some sort of a patch before Worlds of Draenor, but I guess the good thing is that if they don't get a patch before Worlds of Draenor, we should get more content in Worlds of Draenor. Well, at least I hope we will get more content in Worlds of Draenor. Okay, continuing on. The Coolest asks, do you think we will see Broxigar in Worlds of Draenor, and if so, will we be seeing him doing things like running into ogre camps and slaughtering them by himself? Okay, so yeah, I believe we will see him, but I don't think he will have like a huge role in the game, but more of like a minor role. And also I don't see him doing things like killing ogres by himself, because when you think about it, ogres are actually really strong and are a lot bigger than the orcs and buffer, and the reason why the orcs actually manage to kill the ogres or the grons or bigger creatures is because they move in groups. I mean, they're faster when they move in groups, more in number, so it would be almost like a pack of wolves hunting a bear, so they could kill an ogre, but I don't think one orc could just slay an ogre like a big one. I mean, realistically. So I think we will see Broxigar in the game. I mean, as he's a really cool character and he hasn't really made an appearance in the game as of yet. And I mean, even just Varrock Saurfang is badass and his brother is like 5 times more badass than him. So I don't see why they should not feature him in the game. Although I don't think anything has been confirmed by Blizzard officially at this point. Alright, next on. Olven Mage S asks, after Siege of Orgrimmar, do you think that they are going to revamp Orgrimmar again? My guess would be to get the bad taste of Garrosh out of their mouths. And I predict lots of troll houses, lots and lots of them. Alright, so this is a bit similar to the previous question I answered about Orgrimmar. But yeah, I think they will do that. I'm pretty sure that lore-wise Orgrimmar was pretty much destroyed. I mean, we can't really see it in the game again because they haven't really done too much to it, they haven't added new patches or anything like that. But I mean, just think about it, that there was like a huge battle there, there was like a lion's horde and all of these forces against the others, there were like catapults, like huge machines and everything like that. So when you think about it, realistically Orgrimmar would be pretty much ruined, and I believe that once they rebuild it, the new Orgrimmar will be something between the original Orgrimmar, but not just as primitive, but it will be something between the Garrosh's version of Orgrimmar and the original Orgrimmar. So you will have like these small houses and all of that with like cloth, but you will still have those like steel military stuff in the town. And again, the reason for not seeing anything yet, as I said, is because they haven't released a patch in a while, so that's why we can't really notice any difference. And also, on the other side, it could be possible that we don't get rebuilt Orgrimmar in Worlds of Draenor, but more of as a destroyed one, or at least with some destroyed parts. Because I mean, when they rebuild Orgrimmar, they have to work on Stormwind as well, because they can't just work on one faction, it's kind of like a thing. So that could be a problem because the players would complain. So they might do something like they did in Cataclysm and just leave like a huge destroyed place in the middle of the city or in certain parts. And yeah, that's pretty much what my speculation is on rebuilding of Orgrimmar. Okay, next. Coldfire asks, why are the players/heroes so powerful? For example, before it took a whole group of heroes to take down Illidan or the Lich King, but nowadays someone can even solo them. Couldn't that mean that the player reaches higher power than, let's say, Lich King? Couldn't they be a threat to Azeroth as well? Well, I mean, that is again purely a game mechanic, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the story whatsoever. I mean, a lot of things that are added in WoW don't really make too much sense lore-wise, but they have to add them like in order for the game to function properly. So, for example, Garrosh has like 500 million health, and really that doesn't make too much sense because an average player has like what, 5,000 health, 500,000 health. So that means it would take like 50 of these heroes to take him down, which makes no sense in the story because even though he's stronger, bigger and all of that, like the son of Grommash Hellscream, he's just an orc when you think about it, and it would be really hard to kill him. And that really doesn't make much sense, as I said, because it would require like an entire army, and it's not possible that one orc could be so strong that you have to have an entire army just to kill him. So yeah, don't look at it that way, because it's kind of like a game thing and not really a story thing, and you just have to find the difference between the game and the story, because the game can't just function on the story, and it has to have some balance and some game design stuff. So when you think about it, it's not like you can kill someone and then he will respawn in a week. So I mean, there's a lot of things, as I said, in the game that doesn't really make sense in the story, but they just have to do it in order for the game to work. Alright, next, Arvin asks, since Bolvar is the new Lich King and he has friends in the Alliance, does that mean that technically he could use the Scourge to help the Alliance against its enemies? If so, why hasn't he done it? Also, I understand that Arthas lost control over Sylvanas and the other Forsaken when the Lich King was weak, but why is it that he could not regain control over them once he merged with Ner'zhul and became even stronger? Okay, I believe the reason for that is in order to keep the balance of the world, and the fact that I think when Bolvar took the helmet and he became the Lich King, he wasn't really the same old Bolvar, but he was pretty much just a Lich King, and it's not like he could have his old thoughts, but he had more willpower, I believe, than Arthas, so that's why he isn't all that evil. And I don't think he has anything to do now with the Alliance as he's the Lich King. And about the other thing, well, the Forsaken actually broke apart from the Scourge when Illidan casted that spell in Warcraft 3 and it weakened Arthas, but the thing is that the Forsaken had more willpower at the time than the other parts of the Scourge, so that's why they managed to break free, unlike the others in the Scourge. But the thing is though, he never really regained the control of the Forsaken, and a lot of people say that it is a loophole in the story, but it is also said that Arthas never really reached his entire potential as in strength, and that if we didn't kill him, he would have been even stronger than he was, and he probably could have taken over the Forsaken. But the thing is that the Forsaken are now hard to take control, mostly because of their really strong will. I mean, that known as the will of the Forsaken. But I believe if Arthas had gotten stronger than he was before he was killed, he would probably have managed to take over the Forsaken, well, just story-wise, but not game-wise. And the last question is by Dimitri, and he asks, I wonder what is the difference between paladins and priests. Both are fighting for the light, and both can heal allies. What is so different that Blizzard made them separate? Well, as you said, like, they are different, but the thing that is common with them is that they both use the light. However, the paladins are more as in warriors and priests that control the light, but can still be very skillful when it comes to weapons and fighting, like close quarters combat. But while the priests, I mean, on the other hand, are more as in spellcasters that can heal and damage, but they focus more on staying back at a distance and casting spells instead of going in close combat. Alright, and that is all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your questions either by YouTube personal messages, Q&A comment section, or Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Also, as I said, you can check out the Twitch TV channel in the description below. Again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.